Good morning, students. We are studying chapter atoms and molecules, and now we know that who discovered atom. We know the name of the scientist, that is Maharishi Kanath, who first discovered atom, and he called the atom as Parmanu. He was a Indian scientist, Maharishi Kanath, an Indian philosopher. But after that, the John Dalton, another scientist, who showed that the smallest particle of which the all materials are made up of is the atom. Now let's talk about atom. Atom, you can define the atom. This is the smallest particle which can take which can take part in a chemical reaction. You know that most of the chemical reactions are happening here. You know about the physical and the chemical changes. So let's talk one example. This is hydrogen, and when it reacts with chlorine, it forms hydrogen chloride. I think you hear the name hydrogen chloride, or either we are taking the one more simple example, hydrogen plus oxygen gives water. So here we know that these atoms are combined to form the molecules. Now the atom cannot exist freely. It means we can't say that oxygen atom we can find. We can't find oxygen atom. Oxygen atom always combined with another oxygen atom to form a molecule called the oxygen molecule. So we always found the oxygen in the form of oxygen molecule. So it means this atom, though it is the smallest particle of which the matter is made up of, but we can't say that it exists freely. But yes, it can take part in the chemical reactions. Suppose these chemical reactions are taking place here. So hydrogen is combined with oxygen. These atoms combine with one another to form the molecule. So atom, we can define it like atom is the smallest particle of an element that take part in a chemical reaction. In a chemical reaction. So we can define the atom like this. This is the smallest particle of an element that can take part in a chemical reaction. But it can't exist. Most of the atom cannot exist in a free state. It always combines with another atom or the same atom of the element to form the molecules. So you can also write it that the atom is the smallest particle of an element that take part in a chemical reaction, and most of the atom are very reactive and do not exist freely and do not exist in free state. So I think you understand the meaning of this sentence, exist in a free state. Okay, so just I explained you that such like a chlorine atom, the atom of a chlorine represented by the symbol Cl. So this atom chlorine do not exist freely because it is very reactive. So it combined with another atom, like it can also combine with the hydrogen, and what type of combination takes place in between them we will talk it about later. Now same as this chlorine can combine with another chlorine atom to form the chlorine molecule. So it means the atoms which are very reactive, most of the atoms are very reactive, they do not exist freely, so they combine with another atom or the atom of the same molecules to form the molecule. So they combine with another atom to form a molecule, or they combine with the same atom of the same element. They combine with the atom of the same element to form the molecules. So this is an atom, right? We can define it like this. The question is how can you differentiate between the atoms and the molecules? So you know the molecules, these molecules can exist freely. Such like the atom cannot exist freely, do not exist in a free state, but the molecule can exist freely. And atoms as the smallest particle take part in a chemical reaction, but the molecule do not take part in a chemical reaction. Actually, the atoms take part in a chemical reaction. So we can write the differences between the atoms and the molecules. Now let's discuss about the size of the atom. The size of the atom is, I think there is a disturbance in the voice, but I can't do anything. Okay, I will try to pause my video at the time when there is a disturbance in the voice. So what is about the size of the atom? Size of the atom. Actually, the atoms are very small in size. We can't see them with the naked eye, even though we can't see with the help of the microscope. So atoms are very small in size, and we can represent the atoms atomic size by we can also we can represent the size of the atom by atomic size. Atomic size is the way, we can say atomic radius. Atomic radius. Atomic radius is the way to representing the size of an atom. And the atomic radius of an atom is really so small. It has a SI unit as nanometer. Nanometer. You have learned, you have listened the name of the car. It is nano. So the nano is the very smallest unit of length, even nanometer. So we can write the relation between the nanometer and the meter. When nanometer is equal to 10 to the power minus 9 meter, it means 1 meter is equal to 10 to the power 9 nanometer. So this is the relation between the nanometer and the meter. So the smallest atom in all the elements is hydrogen. Hydrogen is the smallest atom, and the size of the hydrogen is hydrogen. This is the atomic radius. You can say atomic radius. Atomic radius. The atomic radius of hydrogen is 0.037 nanometer. It's really so small, and you can't imagine the size of this atom. Now we have lots of atomic radius. We have a number of atomic radius of some elements in our NCERT book. Now, how can we see the atom? You know, the size of the atom is very small, so we can't see it sees with the naked eyes, even though with the microscope. So we can use the electron microscope. Electron microscope, in which we use electron to show the size of the extremely small atoms. And the most common electron microscope which we use for finding the radius of an atom is the STM. And what is STM? This is scanning, tunneling microscope. So this is a STM, the scanning tunneling microscope, in which we use the electron for finding the radius of an atom. So this is a for finding the size of an atom, or we can say for how can we see the atom. This is the method how we can see this atom, by using the scanning tunneling microscope, STM. Okay, in which the electron produce an extremely magnified image of the small atom. And this scanning tunneling microscope, it can produce a computer generated picture. So it generates a computer generated picture of the surface of an element, so that we can see the individual atoms. Now let's talk about the symbols of an element. So symbols of an element, the first scientist who showed the elements can be represented by using the symbols was John Dalton. So let's talk about the symbols representing by the Dalton's symbol. Now we don't use the symbols, but we learn about it because he was the first scientist who showed that the element can be represented by using the symbols. But initially it was very difficult to show the elements with their name, to show that if you want to find, if you want to write the hydrogen react with the chlorine, then you have to write the complete name of these elements. But Dalton showed that we can also represent the elements by using the symbols, and the symbols which were used by the Daltons were, I'm writing here some symbols. You can see the symbols by using an NCERT book, in which you have the symbols which are given by Dalton. Dalton symbols. So like hydrogen. He represented like this. This is the hydrogen. Carbon. He represented like dot, a black dot. Yeah, this is the carbon. Carbon is the coal is a carbon. So this is a black dot, coal. Oxygen. Oxygen is represented by this. So he used such type of symbols for representing the elements. Okay, let's few more elements. Phosphorus. He used a symbol like this for phosphorus. Sulfur. So these were the symbol which was given by the Dalton. And there's most of another elements which have the symbols which was given by Daltons, but I am not making all the symbols here. You can see the symbols which was given by the Dalton in your NCERT book. Now the another scientist who showed that the symbols can be represented by the first letter of the element or by the first and second letter of the elements. So the scientists who showed that we can also represent the symbols by representing its first letter by its first letter or the first with the another letter. So the scientist was J.J. Berzelius. So it was not easy to show the elements by using these type of symbols. So it was become difficult to draw these symbols. So the another scientist who gave the symbols of an element was the J.J. Berzelius. J.J. Berzelius. So J.J. Berzelius, he said that we can represent the symbol, he proposed that the symbols can be represented by the first letter or the first with the another letter, with the first and the second letter for an element. Like for example, these are called the modern symbols of an element. Like for example, hydrogen. Hydrogen. We represent it by H. Oxygen. It's become easy now to represent the elements by using their symbols like this. Oxygen, carbon, C. You have to learn the symbols of these elements, all these elements. Because in the next part of this chapter, you will study about the chemical formula. And for chemical formula, first you should know what are the symbols. Calcium. So calcium, we use Ca. First letter and the second letter. Chlorine. We use Cl. Sulfur. S. So we have a lots of elements which we represent by using their first letter or the first and the second letter as a symbol. Okay, we represent these elements by using its first letter or first and the second letter. So we always write the first letter with a capital. The first letter should be capital of an element. The symbol of an element should have the first letter capital and the second one the small letter. Like chlorine, we will represent C by the capital and L should be the small letter. So there's a lots of elements which having the symbols like this. So you will write in a notebook at least 20 elements in which we use the first letter or the first and the second letter for representing their name. For representing their symbols, sorry, not the name. So name, these are the names and these are the symbols. Now let's talk about some elements in which we don't use the first letter and the first and the second letter for representing their name. We use the Latin word for representing names. So here you should learn the elements in which we use a Latin name for representing their symbols. Like sodium. You know the symbol of sodium? It is Na. It's not come from the first and the second letter of the sodium. So it's Latin name. This is a Latin name. Latin name. This is the element, and what is it? This is the symbol, and the Latin name of it is natrium. Natrium. So that's why we got the symbol Na. Potassium. Potassium we represent it by K, and what's its Latin name? It is Kalium. Kalium. Next one is iron, represented by Fe, and its Latin name is ferrum. We also call it like ions. The ions of the iron is also called ferrous and the ferric ion. So according to their Latin name, according to its Latin name, sorry. And now the copper, represented by Cu. So its Latin name is cuprum. Okay. Cuprum, and the gold. Gold, that is Au, aurum. Silver, Ag. Its Latin name is argentum. Okay. So I'm going to rub this board now for writing the name of some other elements. Silver and mercury, it is Hg, and its name is hydrogyrum. Hydrogyrum. Lead. Lead is represented by the symbol Pb. Latin name is plumbum. Really a very sweet name, plumbum. Tin. They represent the tin by using the symbol Sn. It is sternum. So these are some elements in which we use a symbol by using their Latin names. Okay. Now let's talk about the atomic mass of an element. Atomic mass of an element. We talk about the atomic radius, and we know that the atomic radius is very small. So we represent it by using the unit nanometer, in which we know that 1 nanometer representing 10 to the power minus 9 meter. So now let's talk about the atomic mass. The atomic mass of an element is extremely very small. So we can't learn that mass, or even though we can't represent the mass of an element, it's not become easy for us to learn the mass of every element. For example, the hydrogen, which is the very smallest atom. The smallest atom is hydrogen, having the mass 1.673 into the power 10 to the power minus 24 gram. It's a very small value. And we can't learn these values. We can't learn the atomic mass of every element. It's really so difficult for us to learn the element's mass, the atomic mass of an element. So we take a standard. We take a standard like, we take carbon 12. You know what is the meaning of the carbon 12? Actually, carbon atom is in the form of, it has 3 isotopes, and I think I talked about isotopes in the last video, that the isotopes are the elements having the same atomic number but different mass number. So this carbon having some isotopes, the common carbon is carbon 12, which having the atomic mass of 12, we take it at the standard 12. We take the common carbon, we take the standard as its mass is represented by 12 atomic mass unit. It has also some other isotopes like carbon 14, which is isotopes. It is radioactive isotopes. So we are not taking this atom. this atom of carbon. We are taking this atom of carbon, and we standard. We make it standard like the mass of this carbon atom we are taking at 12 atomic mass unit. So if the mass of this carbon atom is 12 atomic mass unit, then what should be the mass of the one? What should be the value of the one atomic mass unit? It should be 1/12 the mass of this carbon atom. So we can say that the atomic mass we can represent by using the carbon 12 atom, in which contains 6 protons, 6 electron, and the 6 neutrons. So we take the carbon 12 as a standard. What is the meaning of the carbon 12? In which the carbon having the atomic mass of 12 ABU. So we define the atomic mass, that is atomic mass unit. Atomic mass unit. We define it like this: the 1/12 the mass of carbon 12 atom. So it means if we are taking the carbon, this atom carbon, so we will see that the mass of this carbon atom is 12 unit. Then what should be the value of the one atomic mass unit? It will be the 1/12 the mass of the carbon 12 atom. So we can define the one atomic mass unit like this. One atomic mass unit. We also write it like AMU. Okay, here A should be small, I think. Okay. One atomic mass unit, 1 AMU, or we can also write it like U. One atomic mass unit is defined as exactly 1/12 the mass of atom of carbon 12. Now I think you understand the meaning of this statement, that what is the meaning of the one atomic mass unit, and what is the meaning to say that the 1/12 the mass of the carbon atom. Now, okay, I'm explaining it once again, that if you are taking the carbon 12 as a standard, so we can see the carbon 12 having the atomic mass unit of 12. Then what should be the value of one atomic mass unit? We can see that the 1/12 the mass of the carbon 12 atom. So we will see that one atomic mass unit means it is defined as exactly the 1/12 the mass of the atom of carbon 12. So by calculation we can also find what is the value of this atomic mass unit. Actually the value of the one atomic mass unit, it is equal to 1.6605 e to the power minus 24 gram. This is the value of one atomic mass unit. So you can understand what is this. This is a very small value, and it's not easy for us to learn all these value of other elements. Most of the elements, it means there are at least 118 elements are there, and it's not easy for us to learn all the mass of all the elements, since the values of these mass is extremely small. So for our convenience, so that we can easily learn the mass of the elements, we take a standard. Like if one unit is representing this gram, so by comparing the mass with this value, we can find out the atomic mass of different elements. Now by comparing this mass with another elements, by comparing the value of this unit with another elements, we found the mass of oxygen. It is 16. Oxygen having the atomic mass of 16. Hydrogen having the atomic mass of 1. It's not exactly 1. It is 1.003. Carbon is same. Nitrogen having the mass of 14. So this is the mass of, we have to write the U here along with the atomic mass. So these are the atomic mass which we get by comparing the mass of the elements with the mass of one unit, that is this value. Okay. Now, what are the significance of the symbols of an element? Now, talk about now. Let's talk about the significance of the symbols. We found it the first scientist who showed that the element can be represented by the using the symbols are the Dalton, and later J.J. Berzelius showed the different another method for representing the symbols on an element, and it becomes easy for us to learn the name of the elements by using these symbols. Now let's talk about significance of symbol of an element. So let's talk about the carbon. We represent the carbon like this and this. So this symbol represent the first it represent the name of the element. It represent the name of element. Yes. By finding the symbol, we find out this element is carbon. Symbol represent the atom of an element. It show that there is a one atom of an element. To show the atom of an element. It show the atom of an element. Third, it show the one mole of an atom, one mole of an element. I know you don't know the meaning of the one mole. Then I will explain you in next video. And it was a very interesting, or we can say a different part of this chapter, that is a mole concept. So I will explain you later the one mole. What is the meaning of this mole? The symbol also represent the one mole of the element. It also represent the mass of an element. Like here in this symbol, this 6 represent atomic number and this one is the atomic mass. So it also represent the mass of the element. Okay. So these are the significance by using the symbol of an element. Now the question is, this question you have to write yourself. What is the significance of the symbol? I am giving you N. You know the symbols represent the nitrogen atom. So you have to write the significance of this symbol, that is N. Okay, in next video we will explain, we will understand how the atom exists. As I explained you that atom do not exist freely. It always combine with another atom or with the same atom to form the molecules. So we will talk how the atom exists. Either they form the molecules of an element or they form the molecules of the compounds, and what type of bondings are there in between these compounds. So we will talk about these existence of atom in next video, and also about the mass of molecular mass of some compounds. So for calculating the molecular mass, first you should learn the atomic mass of some elements. You have to learn at least 20 elements with their mass and number. So I am writing here some elements, 20 elements with their symbols, number and the mass. So here is the atomic number. This is symbol. I will tell you the name and the atomic mass. So okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is it visible to us? 8, yes, okay. Symbol hydrogen. Hydrogen, huh? Second, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, and then oxygen. These are the atomic number of these elements: hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen. Having the atomic mass, hydrogen having the atomic mass 1, helium, it have the atomic mass of 4, yes, lithium 7, beryllium having the mass 9. Now boron having the mass 10, yeah, or 11, carbon 12, nitrogen 14, oxygen 16. Okay, these are the elements, these are the 8 elements that having these atomic mass. Okay, I have to rub this board, or either I have to write here. Again, these are the atomic number, symbols, and the atomic mass. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Okay, after oxygen, helium, neon. It is neon. 10. 10 is, okay, not neon. Neon will be here. 2 and 8. Okay, this is fluorine. Fluorine, neon, 11. Sodium, magnesium, aluminium, silicon, phosphorus, and then sulfur. The mass is fluorine having the atomic mass. It has the mass of 18, 19, yes, 20, 23, 24. The atomic mass is either twice or one more or two more than twice. 27, 29, 31, and then 32. Okay, these are the mass of these another 8 elements. Okay, now I'm going to rub this one for writing other elements after 16, that is 17, 18, 19, and 20. At least these elements you should learn. So chlorine, and after helium, neon, argon, and potassium, and then calcium. Having the atomic mass, chlorine is 35, actually it is 35.5, and when this mass is in fraction, I will explain you later. Argon 40, potassium 39, and calcium also 40. So these are some elements having the 20 elements, at least starting 20 elements with their symbols and the atomic mass, and you should learn at least these elements with their atomic mass and atomic number. Okay, now we will continue this chapter in the next video. Till then, goodbye and have a wonderful day.